Lauren, I love my mock drafts and my draft stock and all of that stuff. I think as popular as a mock draft pick for the Panthers as Shemar Stewart was, and you and I talked about potential versus production, and the production was not very good for Stewart as an edge rusher at Texas A&M, but he had this great combine performance. I read something from Go Long that made me think, or excuse me, the long read, sorry, that made me think it is time to completely remove Shemar Stewart from the board. They did this series of conversations with scouts asking about all of the top 10 edge rushers in this class, and I want to read to you what they said about Shemar Stewart. This is disheartening to say the least. Quote, he's the classic example of a guy who has no idea how to play football, doesn't know how to take on blocks, doesn't know how to find the ball, doesn't know how to work off of things. I was shocked he was 281 at the Senior Bowl. He plays like he's 240. He crushed it at the combine, but in the games, he is just a non-factor. That made me revisit his stats, Lauren. He really is a non-factor in games. And so
I just get such Al Davis vibes from this, like the hyping of him.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a good way to say it, as this leads into my next question. Do you feel like you have any kind of good read this time of year on what is real and what is a smokescreen when you hear these things from anonymous scouts? Bob McGinn from the long read is the one that put this together. The conversations I thought were very good, very enlightening, but I don't know what to make of anything being said by anybody right now because it's a chess game for everyone.
Yeah, although I always have to remind myself that, like, I'm not saying these guys are obviously smart in some ways, but I don't know that, like, Game of Thronesy and subterfuge is like their political, maneuvering is necessarily their area of strength. So, like, for me, I'm also kind of like, okay, I think a lot of times we assume things are like 4D chess, and maybe some of them aren't because those guys actually aren't as smart in that way.
The 2020 was it the 2021 draft? Was that the Trevor Lawrence draft? You remember that San Francisco traded up to 3, and there was all of these reports. Like, we all assumed that it was going to be, whoever the Jets didn't take between Zach Wilson or is now the Jets quarterback.
Whoever the quarterback people were horny for.
Justin Fields. We all thought it was going to be one of those two, and we kept hearing, no, actually, Kyle Shanahan loves Mac Jones. And even as an Alabama fan, I was thinking, like, that makes no fucking sense in the world. That is obviously a smoke.
It makes sense now to me that he would feel.
And then in hindsight, like, no, he really did want Mac Jones. Apparently, there was this crazy fight between him and John Lynch over Mac Jones. So that's why, like, I don't think there's a smokescreen to this. I think Shemar Stewart, I think the numbers back up that Shemar Stewart might be really great with the measurables, but he's not really great in games. But I can't dismiss it. Like, that is part of how GMs talk right now, because it's not just about we want the guy to be
This was a scout, right?
Yeah. It's not just about how we want guys to be there, though. It is also about hoping you can get other people to react in a way that maybe ups what their package value is to you.
For sure. I agree, but it's
I want to compare real quick what was being said about Shemar Stewart to what is being said about Jalon Walker, sort of that hybrid linebacker out of Georgia that everybody loves to pencil into the Panthers. Two different scouts here. Here's the first one. Quote, when you add up the whole player, I would rather have this guy. The scout was comparing him to Abdul Carter, largely seen as the best player in this draft. And the other one, another scout calling him a defensive coordinator's dream, saying the people that don't like him are the only ones labeling him a tweener. Everybody else is calling him a hybrid. It's weird to take a linebacker top 10 now, but I mean, it might. it's just so much of a no-brainer that I get why everybody is penciling this guy into the Panthers, and I think maybe we should stop overthinking it.
I was gonna say, I mean, like if pass rush is the skill, I don't care what your position says. Like really, at this point, this team needs you do pass rush, great.
Right.
Your safety, don't care. Like, you know, like
he's
whatever.
He's coming from the same college defensive system that Nolan Smith did, who obviously had a great season for the Eagles, but he's bigger than Nolan Smith, so maybe he is a little bit more NFL prepared, I guess, to be a hybrid than Smith was.
I mean, I will say of the people they could pick there, he probably makes my tummy hurt the least. So
yeah.
Like he makes me feel the most like, okay, like I need a low floor guy to make my tummy not hurt. Okay. That's what I need. That's what Lauren Brownlow GM needs. Okay. Otherwise I
want to make sure I understand. Do you mean a high floor guy?
High floor guy. Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Thank you. High floor guy. I'm sorry. What did I say? Low ceiling?
You said low floor.
Ceiling is the floor and the
That's
roof,
right.
Whatever. Low floor. No, high floor. High floor.
Right.
Sorry. To be
Michael
clear.
Jordan
high
can't
floor.
sue us now if we get it totally wrong.
I need a high floor. Like, you know, yes. And he has a very high floor to me, which I'm totally good with. Like a Georgia hybrid linebacker who can rush the passer and produce in college. Well, what's the issue? Did he do crimes? No? Cool. We're good.
That's the other part. Like, son of a coach has been around the game his whole life, and people talk about, you know, walking encyclopedia of defensive schemes. Awesome. You said, has he committed crimes? The other thing that people keep saying is this is like the utmost of utmost character dudes, right? And I don't think that is...
No speeding for that guy.
He's one of the few. I don't think that is the most important thing in the world. I think it's pretty important.
Yeah, me neither. It depends on what it is, obviously, and everything else. But
I think it's important for a rookie coming into a locker room that doesn't have a clear identity yet, though.
Yeah.
I think that not having somebody that feels like he can get away with anything when you don't have that guy to get him in line is probably a big deal.